think that Vergil is gonna get in the ring with you? You think he wants to fight you at this point? I know y'all had whatever y'all had before, but I mean, it's a new day, new division, like you here now. So do you think that fight can be made?
I don't know. I hope so. We went all the way down to his fight by ourselves. They ain't pay for nothing. We paid for our own flight, hotel, our own ticket. We went all the way down there to him and Lubin fight. I get all the way in the ring and all that stuff. We arguing back and forth. I'm thinking it's done. I get out the ring, I'm thinking it's done. I wake up the next day, I hear him talking about some Errol Spence's dream fight. I'm like, hey bro, it just in there. I'm like, what's going on? That's like him coming to my fight. We getting in front of each other, and I'm like, Danny Garcia, my dream fight. Like, right. The fans be going crazy. Like, yo, I don't know, it's crazy. But I thought that fight was done. Hopefully do. If not, whatever, so be it.
Jaron Boots Ennis accuses Vergil Ortiz of being two-faced, claiming the sudden dream fight narrative is nothing more than an excuse to avoid their long-awaited showdown. Backing that criticism, Johnny Ortiz questions Vergil Ortiz's actions outside the ring, arguing that talking about potential opponents on social media means little if the fights never happen. He also casts doubt on Ortiz's legal situation and believes the inactivity is damaging his credibility.
One thing about it, man, Vergil Ortiz he's straight up. I look at this situation like, yo, and shout out to, Robert Garcia. They usually have killers. Mikey Garcia, Bam, they all have heart. I'm not, that whole side, don't make it a side versus side thing. It's just Vergil Ortiz. That could have been him fighting. That's one. You're going through these fake legal issues, because I don't even know if you're going through, I think it's just planned now. Like, you're going through legal issues, then you're going to sit there tweeting, why, oh yeah, watching Xander, distance Xander and Boots. Like, oh yeah, I would put Boots to sleep. Man, shut the fuck up.
Johnny Ortiz insists that Ortiz is making excuses instead of backing up his words in the ring. He criticizes Vergil for shifting his focus to hypothetical matchups and public callouts while remaining inactive, insisting fans would rather see him prove himself through action than continue making bold claims.
The first thing when he stepped to you, yeah, I'm about to fight Errol Spence. I'm about to fight, I don't know, I'd rather fight Errol Spence. That's a dream fight. And you disrespectful to Errol Spence too, because he's supposed to be from Dallas, and that's quote-unquote hating. And you, because you making all excuses and all that. When you was active, it was, oh yeah, he don't want to fight. Oh, then it comes in, now you making excuses. Now it's like, when you're going through your little legal issues, that's what you should be fighting. He's over here saying that, he's over here talking like he want to get active, man. We don't want to hear that.
Robert Garcia believes Ortiz should face Ennis next, and sees no reason to delay the fight. He dismisses the idea that Ortiz needs a tune-up, arguing that his recent activity is more than enough to move straight into a major matchup. Garcia also questions the comeback fight narrative, suggesting it is being pushed to justify Ennis taking another bout first.
It's not a hard decision. Boots is there, Boots is available, Vergil's available. October is a perfect month to make that fight happen. If it doesn't happen, it's because Boots decided to go somewhere else. I know this morning there's already something about Boots versus Fundora. There's talk about Boots versus Fundora. Eddie also mentioned that Vergil might want a comeback fight.
That's what I was gonna ask you.
Vergil hasn't been retired. Vergil's not retired. Vergil fought last November.
Yeah.
So did Bam, and Bam just fought 2 weeks ago. So what's the difference? It's not like it's been a year, 2 years since Vergil's last fight. Vergil fought less than a year ago. A lot of fighters fight once a year. You don't consider them retired. They don't have to come back to a tune-up fight. Eddie's saying that because he wants Boots to have another fight.
On the other side, Timothy Bradley dismisses claims that Ortiz was avoiding Ennis, insisting the delay was driven by financial negotiations rather than a lack of willingness to fight. He believes Ortiz genuinely wants to prove himself, both to himself and to those who continue to question him, by taking on the toughest opponents available. At the same time, Bradley argues that passing up the opportunity to face Ennis may have left Ortiz in a different position than he could have been.
Everyone's trying to say, oh, it's promotional, this is promotional, that. No, it's just money. That's all it is. It was just money. He wanted more money. His manager wanted more money for him because he knows, his manager knows what's going to happen to him. That's why he's trying to fill his pockets up. If he gonna get rid of that he's trying to fill his pockets up. That's what it was. Okay, it wasn't ducking. No, I think Vergil just as cray-cray as Boots. He want to fight. There's no doubt in my mind he wants to fight because he wants to prove not only to himself, but to people like me and everyone else that doubts him. I know he wants to fight, but you sitting on the sideline and you critiquing another fighter when you could have had a possibility. You should have fought him. You could have fought him, and then you would be in a different position right now.
Looking beyond the matchup, Bomac views the division's top tier as being evenly matched, with no clear standout among the leading contenders. He places Vergil Ortiz, Sebastian Fundora, and Boots Ennis in the same elite group, believing their eventual matchups against one another will determine who truly emerges as the best.
50-50 across the board, you know, because when you look at Vergil and when he get guys hurt, like maybe Boots was hurt, you know, he finished them off. You look at Fundora with the range and the height he got, you know, even though he'd been beat before, since then he's just been cleaning them up. And so we all waiting to see, you know, when those 2 or 3, you know, like the 4 kings, when they tangle. So we, you know, as boxing fans, we just sit back and wait.
Turning to the stylistic matchup, Terrence Crawford believes Ennis will need to be far more disciplined against Ortiz than he has been in some of his previous fights. He warns that Ennis's willingness to trade shots and occasional defensive lapses could be heavily punished by a finisher like Ortiz. Although Ennis has been able to overcome those mistakes in the past, Crawford believes that approach will become increasingly risky against elite opposition.
If Boots get hurt like he did the last time, Ortiz gonna finish him.
Wow.
So he gotta tighten up his defense.
10 steps behind you, right?
You gotta tighten up his defense. He gotta stop exchanging. I know he's faster than most. He's more explosive than most, but at the same time, he's shown in the past that he can get careless and that he's going out there just to fight, you know. And I don't think when you get higher and higher, that's going to be enough.
Eddie said this would be a massive fight, you versus him.
Timothy Bradley expects Ennis to have the upper hand against Ortiz, predicting a one-sided performance similar to the Stan Muniz fight. He believes Ortiz's pressure-heavy approach would give Ennis the type of opportunities he exploits best. In his view, Ennis's ability to read the action and respond instinctively would allow him to take control as the fight unfolds.
It's going to be like a Stan Muniz type of beatdown. That's what it's going to be. You can go watch Stan Muniz and the way he fights and how he comes forward and be aggressive. And you can watch Vergil, how he come forward and he be aggressive. Vergil's a little bit more techie. However, it's still the same thing coming off the jab. You know the jab is coming first. Boots, one of the best counter punchers in the game. That's why Boots is so damn dangerous. Because he get hit and then he's still landing at the same damn time. He punching in between punches. He's slipping punches and countering. He's making all this stuff up as he going because he's just off a feel.
Building on that point, Timothy Bradley favors Ennis because he believes his physical advantages and all-around skill set would create constant problems for Ortiz. He feels Ennis has far more ways to dictate the fight, while Ortiz relies on a predictable approach that could be exploited. Although Bradley admits Ortiz carries the power to change a fight with one punch, he expects Ennis to stay in control and wear him down over time.
Reach. Boots can set up shop further out, away from Vergil. Vergil uses the high guard as a primary defense. Boots punches through that, punches around that, set lateral traps up on him. Vergil's one-dimensional. Yes, one-dimensional, dog, for real. One dimension is not gonna beat a whirlwind of dimensions. It's not. Now, he might get lucky and land a hard shot and hurt him. And then maybe finish him, but we can sit here and we say, but what if. We can say all of that, but I personally don't see it happening. I don't. It's gonna be a lot of heat, flaming heat coming at Vergil, for real. And he gonna get kept on the outside until Boots decide that, hey, he's soft enough to me step inside that pocket and let me go ahead and wear him out there too.
Similarly, Sean Zettel leans toward Ennis because he believes Ennis has more ways to solve problems inside the ring. Even so, he sees Ortiz as a serious threat, arguing that his aggressive style and ability to generate heavy offense give him every chance to make the fight competitive. In Zittel's view, that's what makes the matchup so compelling.
And I think Ortiz's hand speed is underrated, and he really puts them together too. But Boots is more versatile and creative. You know, Ortiz keeps his hands up on the high guard. He's explosive. He's ferocious. It's a great fight. I think I give the edge to Ennis though, just because he's a little more talented and a little bit more dynamic. But again, if you're Ortiz, you have every right to feel like you can get him because you hit harder than Xander Zayas. You're more ferocious than Xander Zayas, and I think you got a little bit more speed than Xander Zayas too. So it's gonna be a great fight.
You go knockout or decision?
Knockout.
Knockout. Yeah.
Sean Porter believes Ennis would still come out on top against both Fundora and Ortiz, regardless of the strategies they bring into the fight. Drawing on his own experience, he argues that certain fighters are far more difficult to deal with once the action begins than they appear from the outside. For Porter, that difference gives Ennis the edge over either opponent.
Crazy and saying all that. Number one, they have the game plan, but I still think that talent is so superior. Like he said, you know, it's a, and I know this from my own experience. It's a different speed on the outside than when you actually get in the ring and do it. You know, I was one of those guys that everybody felt like they could game plan for me, but they didn't understand how quick I actually was. They didn't understand how explosive I actually was able to get my way with just about everybody I was in the ring with, because on the outside looking in, it's just a little bit different, you know. So I still think he beats Fundora. I still think he beats Vergil Ortiz.
The analyst and Zittel view the Ennis-Ortiz showdown as one of the division's most entertaining matchups. They expect both fighters to bring an aggressive approach, creating a high-action contest from start to finish. Although each has earned a reputation for toughness, they note that both have been tested in previous fights, adding another layer of intrigue to the matchup.
I think him and Ortiz will be an even more entertaining fight if they fight than last night. I think they're going to go toe-to-toe. And it's really going to be who can take the other one's punch.
Mm-hmm.
And
Ortiz
Fundora,
Ortiz been down. I don't think they called it a knockdown, did they?
No, twice against Bowenchuk.
Okay.
And he's had some scary moments against Kaviaskis too, Mean Machine. So they both got good chins, but have both also shown vulnerability too. So
not everyone agrees, however. Robert Garcia gives Ortiz the edge by stoppage if they eventually share the ring. He believes Ortiz possesses the kind of power that can change the fight at any moment. Garcia also expects Ortiz to apply relentless pressure instead of fighting cautiously. In his view, that combination would eventually overwhelm Ennis.
I agree with Vergil. I think if Vergil is able to, you know, fight Boots and we were able to get those punches, I think it's over. I think Vergil is not going to hold back. Vergil has great, insane power at 154. So I think Vergil will finish it.
Meanwhile, Roy Jones Jr. believes Ortiz would demand Ennis's complete attention from the opening bell. He argues that facing an opponent with Ortiz's experience, pedigree, and proven resume would force Ennis to stay fully engaged throughout the fight. While Jones stops short of predicting the winner, he is convinced Ennis would not be able to afford any lapses in concentration against Ortiz.
And watch he don't go to sleep. Watch he don't go to sleep against Vergil Ortiz. Because if he goes to sleep against Vergil Ortiz, Vergil gonna show enough come at him. I guarantee you, put somebody like that in front of him, and I bet he don't go to sleep. And I put what they want to put on it. I guarantee he won't go to sleep. Now he might not win, but he won't be because he went to sleep. He won't go to sleep against Vergil Ortiz. Trust what I tell you, because that's a higher pedigree. That's a guy with a better background, with a better pass, with a better track record, with a guy that he knows if you go to sleep, he gonna beat you. So he not gonna go to sleep on him. I promise you he ain't. Some kids, see, this is what I like about boxing.
Furthermore, Roy Jones Jr. believes Ortiz should prioritize a potential showdown with Spence over an immediate fight with Ennis. He argues that if Spence defeats Tsiu, a Dallas matchup would become the division's biggest attraction and deliver a much larger payday. While he considers the Ennis fight a strong matchup, Jones believes the Spence clash is the smarter opportunity to pursue first.
Is Errol Spence, if he beats Zoo, versus Vergil Ortiz in Dallas. They sell out Dallas Stadium. You don't throw that away chasing Boots. You let Boots go fight Fundora first. You wait and see what happens when the Errol Spence fight if you're smart. You make way more money right there in Dallas Stadium at home, fighting the guy that grew up in the same gym you grew up in, but y'all got different trainers, I'll probably always have. You make way more money doing that first than you do going and fighting Boots first. You and Boots is a good fight, but you and Earl is a dream for the state of Texas and for the city of Dallas. You understand? So I think if you Vergil.
Expanding on that strategy, Roy Jones Jr. explains that Ortiz should focus on the opportunities that offer the greatest long-term value rather than rushing into the Ennis fight. He argues that waiting for the right moment could lead to a much bigger event and a more favorable path through the division. In Jones' view, smart timing would benefit Ortiz both financially and competitively.
If he wins. If Earl wins, which I think he will, and you make that dream fight happen first, then you go ahead and take the winner out of Boots and Fundora. Guess what? If you let Boots and Fundora fight each other, you ain't got to beat both of them. Now you just got to beat one of them. If you go beat Boots now, you still got to fight Fundora after. So you double working yourself, but you're going to get less money out of it in the long run. Because you're going to get way more money out of fighting Spence in Dallas than you are fighting Boots anywhere. You understand where I'm coming from?
From a technical standpoint, Coach Breadman considers Ortiz the most difficult opponent Ennis could face. He believes the matchup is challenging because Ortiz's efficient offensive approach is well suited to exploiting the type of exchanges Ennis frequently engages in. Although he acknowledges Ennis's athletic advantages, Breadman feels Ortiz has the tools to consistently make him uncomfortable throughout the fight.
Stylistically, to me, the hardest fight for Boots is Vergil Ortiz. That's my honest opinion. Vergil Ortiz. Boots got them long, kind of like gangly arms, right? And sometimes he load up a little bit, and Vergil Ortiz punch short and compact, right in the mid-range on the inside, right where Boots like it. And in exchanges, Vergil Ortiz, I don't think he's as fast as Boots for like combinations of punches, but I do think that if Boots is throwing single shots, that Vergil's short, compact punches can get there. Because one thing Vergil don't play like Boots.
Even so, Coach Breadman still favors Ennis in a potential clash with Ortiz, but believes it would require one of his most disciplined performances. He warns that the defensive habits Ennis can sometimes get away with against other opponents could be punished by Ortiz's precise and efficient offense. In Breadman's view, Ennis has the superior overall ability, but he must stay focused from the opening bell to avoid giving Ortiz opportunities to capitalize.
Boots sometimes put his hands down, he lean back, he do all kinds of stuff.
Roll the shots.
Yeah, Boots does a lot of stuff where Vergil kind of just stays in one place and just fires right from where he's at. So in my opinion, I still think Boots can beat Vergil, but I do look at that fight and say Boots got to really be on his A game. He cannot be doing all of that kind of stuff where that boy's just firing right from the point of attack, right there in the mid-range, firing them short little uppercuts and stuff.
Still, Gary Russell Jr. believes Ennis would be better prepared by the time a fight with Ortiz takes place. He expects Ennis to learn from his recent performances and correct the flaws that have been exposed. While Russell acknowledges Ortiz's punching power makes him dangerous, he ultimately sees Ennis separating himself with a convincing victory.
But I feel like he would be too flat-footed for Boots. He would be too slow of a pace for Boots. Boots, at this point, he's going to go look back at this fight with him and Xander and see where he went wrong. And by the time he fights somebody like Ortiz, he'll fix the problem by then. You know, so Ortiz, yes, he got a puncher's chance. You know, he come in shape, he's obedient, just as Xander was. But Boots, he got the ability to pull away from this guy and beat him in great fashion. You know, that will be another great-ass fight, hands down.
Gary Russell Jr. expects a matchup between Ennis and Ortiz to come down to skill, rather than movement or ring positioning. He expects both fighters to meet each other head-on, but still gives Ennis a clear edge because of his greater versatility and overall ability. While Russell praises Ortiz's development and punching power, he does not believe Ortiz possesses the complete package that Ennis brings to the ring.
I feel like that would give Boots more of a hassle versus a Vergil Ortiz. Vergil Ortiz, he's going to sit there in the pocket, and it's going to become a battle of who creativity is better and who land the better shots. That's it. Boots not going to have to do a lot of running, a lot of chasing. He's going to be sitting right there in the middle of the ring. And it's going to be going skill for skill. That's how that fight will look. Boots, honestly, I feel like he would clean Vergil up. Now, I'm not taking nothing away from Vergil Ortiz. He's a great fighter. Sound, very sound. And honestly, if he keep going on the path he's going, he'll be a knockout artist. But I don't think he got what Boots got.
Ibsen Brady believes Ortiz has been far too vocal, despite not having the accomplishments to support his confidence. He points to Ortiz's past knockdowns and lack of a world title as reasons why he should be more measured before criticizing Ennis. Brady ultimately backs Boots to win comfortably, arguing that Ortiz would not present a particularly difficult challenge.
I want to see Ortiz. I want to see Ortiz for sure. He just had too much to say to me.
What'd you make it at, though?
To be honest, I don't even talk that much, but Ortiz, I feel like he don't have too much to say. Like, he's not a world champion. He's been down multiple times. So that was the craziest thing is, like, they made it seem like Boots went down. He didn't go down. You know, like, Ortiz, you've been down multiple times in one fight, so that you should be the least of to say something. And then Fundora, you know, he not a talker, but I mean, they want to say that's right. They're gonna determine if if he pound for pound is great. Like, they put him on pound for pound, but I guess like saying if you want to talk guys, but I feel like there will be another cakewalk to me.
If this blockbuster showdown finally becomes reality, it won't just settle the debate over who's the better fighter, it could reshape the future of the division. With both men refusing to back down, the pressure continues to build for a fight. Boxing fans have been waiting to see, but what do you think? Is Boots right about Ortiz, or is this simply pre-fight mind games? Who wins if they finally step into the ring? Let us know your prediction in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss the latest boxing news.